Matt Meehan here for IrishBoxing.com. Jamie Conlan, I have never seen you so happy. It's like a 90th plus screamer from your team to send your team into the Champions League final in football terms, but instead it's Lewis Crocker, who is now the IBF Welterweight Champion of the world. First off, when I say those words, what comes into your mind?
Just sheer happiness and joy, man. What a night, what it was. Magical night, historic night for Irish boxing. And for Belfast boxing in general as well, we have someone really to carry the flag for us now going forward. In terms of male fight representation, there's only two world champions in Britain and Ireland, and Lewis Crocker's one of them. It's class.
Um, it was a stoic night, just kind of briefly, like how how long did it actually take to get Windsor Park over the line? First off, from like start to finish.
So where are we at? March. Oh, March 1st was the first fight. We had
Yeah.
discussions March 3rd
Okay.
about Windsor. Yeah, I think Carl Frampton had sent me a number firstly to get in contact with, and then we just kind of it was just going from there. It was a long process to get everything out. Windsor was actually brilliant to deal with. IFA were very, very good and easy to deal with. Graham Fitzgerald and Danny, the guys kind of were more than willing to make this a historic night. They understood the magnitude of the event, the rematch being as big as it was once the kind of world title fell in place. So we were agreed in principle prior to the title falling in place, but when the world title fell in place, it was all systems go. Yeah, it was a process, but it all worked out in the end.
I say there was kind of a sigh of relief when that final dotted line was signed, and it's like, okay, right, lads, it's actually happened. Like, what actually getting this done? This is happening.
Nah, not really, because the fights that happened, my big thing was the fight.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the event, yes, one thing, 100%. You want to put on historic nights
Hmm.
and be involved in historic nights in boxing, but all I wanted really was for all I cared really about was Lewis Crocker becoming world champion
Hmm.
and making sure he was in the best possible place to do that.
Um, there was a sigh of calmness and a Lewis Crocker who's normally, he's upbeat and he's chatty like a normal Lewis Crocker, but this fight week he was calm, he was collected, and kind of you didn't really hear much about Lewis Crocker. Like you didn't really like Lewis wasn't really kind of that vibrant during the press conference during fight week. Obviously when people asked questions he answered them, but there wasn't that kind of that hyped up Lewis Crocker. Was there a reason for that? Do you know?
Um, Focused on the job, understood the task at hand. We didn't engage in any media in the week, one to one,
Yeah.
very little. Um, and that was all constructed beforehand. No media, just keep quiet, just focus on the job. Didn't want any distractions, didn't want to get involved in tit for tat. Just wanted to focus on the fight and be zoned in completely. Retain all energy that he had. I think last time he learned a big lesson. Um, Both in the first press conference, in the fight week press conference as well. He got caught up. He got caught up in the hype of the fight. He got sucked into the whirlwind of a bit of a tit for tat battle. Jabe's being thrown left, right, and center, and getting in the usual fight week razzmatazz, and sitting around doing all the media as he did to sell the first fight.
Yeah.
The second fight sold itself, so he didn't need to do it, and he just kind of
Hmm.
he just focused on himself. So yeah, he remained quiet, coy, shy, if in one way, but he was always focused on the task at hand. And it was only when
The way
I
in.
think the weigh-in, yeah,
It's
the
just
weigh-in,
everything kind of came out. It looks like just everything kind of just uploaded and
because then we're here. It was
yeah.
there. Everything was done. The
Hmm.
hard part was done. Making weight was done. And he made weight a lot easier and safer and better this time than he did last time. So everything was good in that front, and that's all kind of that was the hard part in his head kind of done. It was just now to go out and put a performance in, and which he when when the first fight happened and was over, we both knew that that he'd be able to do in the second fight, no problem, because he's now felt what Paddy Donovan was like, but Paddy had no clue what Lewis was like, which shone true on the night.
When you entered that dressing room on Saturday evening, were there any nervous butterflies in your stomach, being like, okay, like this is boxing. It's a roll of the dice, kind of in a way where you could come away as world champion tonight, or you could lose at the end of a decision, or something could happen. It's boxing at the end of the day. You're throwing punches at people. But was there any nervousness in around the camp, or like was it relaxed? Music on, and just the vibes are flowing, I guess, in a good natural way.
No, when you enter the dressing room for any fight, something is going to change, regardless.
Mm.
You're going to get in the ring, so you're going to win. You're going to have a positive step forward in your career, whether you're a 2-3-0 fighter or fighting for a world title. Are you going to lose, and you're going to think the world is over, and you're going to be in the lowest of lows. So a changing room is a real strange place that it's like, I don't know. It's a waiting room for something bigger,
Yeah,
always, because and what that is, no one knows.
yeah.
It's massive. So it's always strange going into a change room. I think any change room you go into, you're filled with optimism, and people hoping and preparing for the best, but no one ever thinks about the worst. So
Hmm.
what filled me when I went in the Crocs change room, we had to sit down before it, and we made sure that things were in place in the change room that weren't in place last time. The big
Like what?
like music, a bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
The S&C coach was in, stretching him out, warming him up, getting a proper S&C warm up. He was taking his right supplements. He was taking caffeine at the right time and everything ready to go. Everything was on point. The support staff that he had around him was fantastic on this camp. And and the preparation in the change room, the warm up was brilliant. The work we done with Billy, they worked for near an hour, like on the pads, and they were working. And then his training partner Ryan Clark was in as a southpaw, and they're working over drills against a southpaw. Compare this to the last fight. He done 7 minutes of a warm up and said, "Nah, I don't feel great."
Wow.
You
Seven
know, he just
minutes.
7 minutes warm up and then just sat down. He watched the fights on the TV and
Hmm.
no one spoke. There was no music in the change room. There was nothing. That's when I said, "This is the Lewis Crocker I know." So I knew the performance was coming. I knew this was a different man, and I just knew no one else understood that this is a different man.
Yeah. When you went into Paddy's change room, obviously you were there to inspect the hand wraps that were being wrapped as is the rules. Did you feel anything when you went in there?
No, it's a world class changer. You've one of the best coaches in the world sitting there, a world class fighter in Paddy Donovan sitting there. He's focused on the task at hand. Then you have Joe Parker in the background and Ben Whitaker to your right. One difference, I didn't see many of the brothers this time in the family. It was more other teams, but it's a world class environment that he
Yeah.
had around. David Evanis in there. He had a load of big players in the change room, a lot of cameramen in the change room. But it was a focused change room. It was a very focused change
Hmm.
room, and as I said, there was a lot of he was just zoned in. There's no real communication, but there it's a world class setup over there, like a real good efficient setup. It reminds me a bit of Adam Booth's setup, but it's a world class setup there.
As you took your seat ringside to watch the fight, was there kind of like, okay, here we go, what, like, this is it? And obviously they touched gloves, went back to their corners, and they engaged in the first round. First round was a bit cagey, nothing really kind of happened there. It was kind of more just nip and tuck. Kind of, it looks like a bit of a bit of a nervous energy from round one. Kind of, okay, we're here now. Let's get business done.
No, the first round filled me full of confidence, man.
Seriously.
That he had the yeah, man. The game plan was always to get Paddy to lead over his front foot because he leaves his chin in the air and he drops his right hand low because he's trying to swing it really right round, whether with his late check right hook or come over the top of the backhand. And he walked on the shot in the second or third round actually. But it was the tactic that that's not Lewis's natural
Yeah.
style. So he
Hmm.
had to be mentally switched on, and he looked mentally switched on. And that was something he didn't have last time. It was just do or die last time. He knew fuck it, I'm not feeling it, so I'm just gonna have to go at it, and it's risking everything. But on Saturday, he had the tactics spot on, and he was mentally in the game. He knew what he had to do to win the fight.
Um, I've never seen like Lewis box in such a different style. It looked like a completely different Lewis Crocker in there.
Yeah, it did. And like, so Tony Bailey was sitting beside me for the about first 4 rounds, 5 rounds till the second knockdown, and he had to run over. And I had said that to Tony, because Tony had said he's boxing brilliant, and this is brilliant. And I said, yeah, 1,000,000%. I'm just, my only worry was to do that for 12 rounds is going to be very hard because it's coming unnaturally to you. So you have to constantly switch on your brain to kind of keep into this attitude and keep this mentality and keep this distance and keep this fight. But it could have been very easy to start just tucking up, hands close, chin close, and start moving, trying to move him back. But to keep drawing the lead and to try and punch with him as he swings was really mentally challenging for him. So that was we were talking about that, and Tony compared that to like when he was fighting Usyk, having to fight a different way and how exhausting it was. But
Yeah.
Crack was super fit, man. It's the first real camp that he's really focused in on S&C. He's really took himself to the next level, and he's only going to get better from here.
Where does better lie? Mario Barrios, Brian Norman Jr., Conor Ben. The names go on and on. There's so like as Eddie Hearn said, whoever wins this fight will go on to change their life. Number one,
Hmm.
that's financial wise. But number
Hmm.
two, there are some huge fights. Vegas, LA, America. Bring it back to Belfast. Maybe go to the UK, up to Wales, Scotland. Whoever knows, there is massive fights. What's next for Lewis Crocker?
Uh, we'll sit down. We've had brief conversations over the weekend and communications with Matchroom over the weekend, but we'll sit down, I think, in the next 7 days and get a plan in place. There potentially could be a voluntary. We're looking maybe at that, going back to the SSE before Christmas or January, and then another big summer showdown or a big spring showdown outdoor with the unification or Conor Ben back at Windsor Park.
Well, like obviously Conor Ben has to come through the Chris Eubank for fight first, so
Mm.
that kind of depends on that, I guess.
Yeah, but I would like the Barrios fight. I would like Mario Barrios fight. It's just finished. I just fought Manny Pacquiao, massive name, WBC belt, IBF WBC belt unification would be unbelievable. But you look at the names at the 147 pound division, and
It's a
the
hot division.
opportunities are there. So, oh man, he is really in the mix to really throw his name as a superstar. Like massive opportunities there.
Lean
So
Power, another one as well.
yeah, Liam Paro fights for the mandatory position on Thursday against Papo, the French guy,
Yeah.
undefeated French guy in Australia. So he doesn't have a mandatory till early next year, or sorry, mid of next year.
Mm.
So he has an opportunity for a voluntary first, and that's probably the route that we'll look at um, if we can't get unification.
How long does it take in between to make them mandatories? Like, would a commission reach out, I guess, to the team, be like, "Listen, lads, it's time to go."
We've 120 days for a voluntary. 120
Okay.
days. Yeah,
So
so.
you've a good bit of time then. Like, you're not in any rush to pick. You're going to take your
No,
time.
no, but Crocker called this morning and he just says, "Get me out to SAP. Just
Okay,
get me
so he
back
wants
out
to get
now."
back out.
Oh, he wants to get back out ASAP. He has some media obligations he's going to have to fulfill. I think He's going to City Hall tomorrow. He's got a lot of things that lined up over in the UK, and rightfully so. He's the champion of the world, and he's only
Yeah.
one of two in the UK and Ireland. So outside of Katie. Um, so he's got a lot on his plate that he has to fulfill, but he also just wants to get back to fighting. Now he did hurt his hand in the seventh round, his right hand in the seventh round, which he restricted him from letting that go later down the stretch. But he says a bit swollen this morning, but nothing too much that he just wants to fight again. He's buzzing. He's buzzing and he wants to capitalize on what energy he felt on Saturday.
Um, what was it like after? Talk to me at the post fight. It's a big moment like that. That's a life changing moment right there. I say there There were some good celebrations in the back.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Delighted for his father and his mother. They're really boxing
Ricky
people.
and
Ricky and Bonnie. Yeah, his sister Alana, her husband was in as well. It was a real. He just didn't stop laughing. It's even this morning he hasn't stopped. I just said to him, "You haven't stopped laughing since."
well, that's
Every
Lewis
time I
though.
looked at him, yeah, every time I looked at him, he just started laughing. He just shook his head, kept laughing. It was like
He's like a young kid at
it was.
Christmas.
Yeah, it is all right. He doesn't know what else to say and just keeps laughing.
Yeah,
He said like, but the whole week we kept saying, just be yourself. You're world champion. That's what you'll be, world
yeah,
champion this week. And I think I texted him on the Monday when he was just getting in the hotel, like Lewis Crocker becomes a world champion on Saturday,
yeah. Do you
and
think it's
just
set in?
like man, he knew. So remember the year he was out of the ring for a year? Remember when he
Yeah,
was out of the ring for a
yeah,
year? And then I got him like two fights in Scotland and stuff like
yeah.
that.
On
And
the
they were like,
Kynoch show, I
no,
think.
yeah, yeah, it was small shows. Like
Yeah,
Ian Wilson put him on a show for me, and Sam kind of put on a show for me, and then got him in the Falls Park on their big parties on their card. But it was like a bit of a traveling around year, and in most people's heads, like that's shit. You're
yeah,
fighting six rounders on the cards and no, and someone like of his caliber and his build up and his um his so like the aura that he had prior to that,
yeah,
where he was getting built up to be a superstar, like they would take a massive dent to their confidence. They opened not him. We went a walk one day and he just says, like, I'm going to be world champion. I said, no, no doubt
yeah,
about it. We wouldn't be doing this all these wee shitty fights if we didn't think so. It was just about bedding him in with Billy. And then he had that massive breakout year. Like we had them three fights, and then he fought in the Falls Park. Then he fought Tyrone, and it's just been like it's just been a roller coaster since then. He's riding the crest of a wave, and now he has changed his life forever, his family's life forever. It was just amazing to see. Like you could just see, like a mother's love, his father's love. Like they do everything for him.
yeah,
He's spoiled rotten by them. But they're really good people, like really, really down the earth people, and they just kind of like seeing them all get together. You all believed it. I'd said to Bonnie, we bumped in, and none of us knew each other's story. I says, "Man, I
yeah.
had a dream that he wins the world title." And so, no, I had a dream he wins. I had a dream he wins. And she
What
says, "I
day?
had a dream he wins." This was on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday.
Jesus.
I had a dream that he wins. I had a dream he wins on Saturday, but I had a dream he knocked him out. So did Bonnie, and so did Ricky had one at round seven. And we're all like laughing. We're all just laughing that we all had a dream. None of us realized that the other
Wow.
one didn't.
When did
But
you
it
connect
was
that
just
up? Like, was there a question or something?
yeah, no, I just said I had a dream he wins, and
And
she
then
had a
Bonnie
dream,
said it,
and
and
he
then
had a dream.
Ricky
Yeah,
said it.
everyone had a dream. Everyone had a dream.
Wow.
I think Billy had one as well, but his was probably wet.
Everyone's having
But
dreams. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Everyone's having
yeah,
dreams left,
yeah.
right, and center.
But it was brilliant to see them on the change room. It was
Hmm.
just you just seen a young man achieve his dream, and that's special. Like I mean,
Hmm.
that's the sport. You can get caught up in the business element of the sport and the
Yeah.
entertainment element of the sport, but moments like that bring you back the romanticism of the sport and what you get into it for as a kid. Watching a young man achieve his dream, become
Hmm.
world champion, and his family surround him.
Do you think Paddy can come again?
$1,000,000. He's a world class operator. I said to him in the ring, I think he'll be world champion one day. It was in the build up to the fight. That said, it's just unfortunate the boys are fighting each other.
Someone has to win,
But
someone has to lose, and that's the business of the
someone has to
sport.
win.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Just it's unfortunate they've both been on a career trajectory to be a world champion. Um, Paddy's probably smoother than Lewis. Well, not probably, definitely smoother than Lewis, where he had the backing of Top Rank, and we had to put him on all our shows with that, and then he moved from Top Rank over to Matchroom shows, and has kind of just been, man, had a fantastic setup around him, got a great gym around him, got a good family around him. It's yeah, I think he'll be easy. He'll definitely come back one day.
um, like I guess this will kind of go down in a memory of yourself, like that you've been involved in a massive night of Irish boxing, and kind of this like we've seen the kind of rejuvenation of Irish boxing shows. Jay Byrne since what a year and a half, 2 years ago, bringing shows back to Dublin, and then obviously up to Belfast, and kind of shows popping up left, right, and centre. So I feel there's good times ahead for Irish and Belfast boxing ahead.
We've been saying for a while, we're we're really riding the crest of the wave, or this is the golden age and things
Yeah.
like that. And then when Frampton retired, you're going, who's going to carry the flag next? And then Michael does the outdoor shows and the headlines, the SSC, and we're selling it out. And like Lewis just came on the back of that. It really is fantastic times for Irish boxing. If Katie and Brian are able to pull
Paul
Croker
Park. I think it's you
Croker
used to say Windsor Park.
yeah. If they pull that one out of the bag, that would be exceptional as well. Like it is really a massive time for us. Like when you sit back and you think about it, when I was boxing, it was shows were few and far between.
Mm.
And the scene was bleak. You waiting on the big names to come over, and when they come over, you had to fight some of their guys. You had to risk your career, and you had to risk everything you're doing just to get the reward of a big fight. But now we're getting all Irish fights on the cards. We're
Mm.
getting prospects on the cards. We're getting slots. We're getting main TV slots. We're really kind of growing. It is growing on a rapid rate, and we need the big nights. We need like the Lewis Crockers of the world to keep bringing it back, and Michael and Katie and stuff, because it gives the others a platform to
Mm.
really showcase themselves to the world. And then other than that, you do need the shows like the Mark Dunlap shows and Jay Byrne shows and our own shows and Hammer Boxing shows. They kind of keep nurturing the new talent,
Yeah.
to build them for the big stage. So we are on a massive we're on a massive conveyor belt at the minute, and we're being spoiled. We are being spoiled by both the fighters, the fans, and the promoters. So long may it continue.
Donny Kelly, just briefly, unfortunate loss, first loss in his professional career. Singh was a guy that came to boxing. He gave it a go.
Yeah, I spoke to him this morning, Donna. He just fought the wrong fight, which
Yeah.
which happens. He got drunk on his own success
Mm.
in the first round. The plan was always the boxing move. Singh don't get drawn in, because Singh will draw you in and make you swing with him, and he tires you out. And he's more durable
Mm.
than you think. And Donna's naturally 122, probably closer to 118, but we had to take the fight at 125, which didn't really suit. And it just boxed the wrong fit. It was a massive learning curve for him, massive
Yeah.
learning curve. He was exceptional in the first round, but he was putting everything into the shots to get Singh out of there, which you thought probably could happen.
Yeah.
But
He hurt
just
him
trying
though.
too hard. Yeah, I heard him loads, man. And that's what I'm saying. He got drunk on his own success. He's seen I think he thought he'd seen a finishing sight, and he wanted to go out and put a performance on. I'm just punched himself out a wee bit. He just tried too hard in the first round, zapped his energy, and then Singh just was nipping and nipping away. Listen, I scored at a draw. I gave Donna the first and the third, second and fourth. I thought it was a very harsh decision between Miguel, and I said to him, and I thought so. He uh, he denied it, but or he fought otherwise, and he's entitled to his own opinion. But I thought it was a draw. I thought Donna won the first. He clearly he lost the second. Yes, I thought he nicked the third by just boxing on the outside, and then lost the fourth. Um, but yeah, it changes nothing. It's a small bump in the road.
Mm.
He'll be back out hopefully before in November time, and then just get back to winning ways. And that's kind of what he wants to do. The problem you have when you're a fighter, unlike a footballer, if you have a bad day at the office, you get the rectified the next week, and everyone forgets about it. But when you're a boxer, you have to wait a good few months to kind of go out there, and it's lingering around you like a bad smell till you right that wrong.
Rhys Owens, debut hopefully soon. If you can give us an exclusive anything.
Yeah, we're hoping for October. Hoping for October.
Where,
Uh, on the west of Ireland somewhere.
Jamie? Anything else? You don't
No,
know what you're
hoping
talking
for
about. You know what you're talking
hoping
about.
for, hoping for a debut in October. And then hopefully again November. So back to back, get him out, and
Keep him
then
active.
yeah, keep him active. Hopefully, potentially coming back here in December with Croc, or looking
Mm.
at something else, and we'll get him on there later December and January. So we'll just keep him active, get him rolling. It was unfortunate we didn't get him on that. We had him on the card, and then the card got moved from 12 to 10 or
10.
whatever. Or
Yeah, there's two
yeah,
fights
yeah.
caught. Yeah.
Two fights called off, and Curtin and Reese fell victim of that.
What's new with Kurt at the moment? I seen him at the SSE there. So not yesterday, the Trina there briefly. Shook hands with him, just said hi to him. But any news on him?
We're hoping to have him in
Hmm.
December as well. He just wants big fights from here on in. I would like him to get back to winning ways and then challenge for a come off title, hopefully. So just working on a few things at the minute. We're currently getting back in the gym. He's just had another baby.
Oh wow,
Um,
congratulations! I know.
so he's staying at home with the family for a bit, and then he'll be back.
Is the SSE penciled in for any dates that you can say? December.
It, it was penciled in November 8th. We had SSC pencil for November 8th, and then our main event has a bigger fight elsewhere. So we're just trying to rejig it around, which is kind of something I put on the back burner because of everything in front of us there. So we're just trying to redrag things around there.
Jamie, on that note, really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, all the best, mate.